I'm here today with the Braintree goalkeeper, Jack Sims. Jack, hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
Excellent, I'm very well, thank you. Now, we're going to talk a bit about your career and a bit about Braintree Town, get to know you a bit better. So, according to my research, you're 23 years old. Where were you born?
Southend-on-Sea.
Also an Essex boy.
Yeah.
And who do you support?
I'm a Liverpool fan, to be fair, which, considering I'm born in Southend,
Yeah.
not many people are very happy with that, but my dad's a Liverpool fan, so I am as well.
Okay, fair enough. Going through your career, this might be wrong because it's Wikipedia, as you
Yeah.
know. Canvey Island?
As a kid, very
Yeah.
young, from probably, that was my first team, yeah.
And then it says from 2009 to 15, Southend.
Yeah.
2015-17 Blackpool up to 2021.
Yeah.
And then it's also loads at Skelmersdale, Lancaster City,
Yeah.
of course last season at Welling. So
Yeah.
talk us through Canvey Island. So what sort of ways were you playing at Canvey?
As a proper kid, probably from like 5 or 6 till I got picked up by Southend. I think I was 9
Yeah.
when I went to Southend, so that was like my first football team, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Was you goalkeeper then?
Yeah, pretty much. I probably played the first probably pre-season out pitch, but then ended up in goal. The keeper didn't turn up. I went in goal and just happened to be.
I met something like that a couple of seasons ago as a goalie. We used to play out on the pitch and end up filling in. And
Yeah. No, it was. But I was young. Like it was.
Yeah.
I've been a goalie since I was like 6, 7 years old.
Right. Okay.
Unfortunately.
So then you had quite a few years at Southend.
Yeah.
Were you number one most of the time, or?
There was normally 2 of us, and when you're like in an academy, you generally rotate. You
Right.
play like half each,
Yeah.
and you rotate who starts one week, who starts the other. And I pretty much always had another goalie my age, so we just sort of rotated all the way through.
Right. Okay. And then I think you're about 16 when Blackpool came calling, so they must have seen something from you.
I went and signed for Blackpool as soon as I left school. So I moved up there. Done my scholar there. I actually think moving there was probably the best thing for me. Move away and probably concentrate on football, sort of thing. But yeah.
Were there any other offers around at the time, and you just chose
I
Blackpool?
had Cambridge as well. I could have gone to, but I wanted to move away. I wanted to just get as far away as possible and really
Get
concentrate.
away from Essex. Nothing wrong with getting away from
Yeah.
Essex. Okay. So when you arrived there, how many keepers were you competing with then? Because it stepped up to increase.
So at the start, when I was in the youth team, so it was under 18s, there was a second year scholar, so he was a year above me. So he played mostly in the first year, which is generally the case. As a scholar. But I was actually quite lucky. I did manage to, considering the first half of that season I was injured as well, I still managed to play about 25 games as a first year scholar, which isn't bad.
No.
Then my second year I probably played about 40, 50 games. Before then going on loan and all that.
Yeah. So the loan spells stuck in Lancashire. So
there was Skem, which is in Liverpool, which is a interesting place. It was actually really good there. I done 3 months there. I think I got 2 player of the months. That was my first introduction to like men's football.
Right. Did you notice the difference in that step?
Yeah, it's a completely different style of football. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how much ability you have if you can't do the ugly side.
Right.
But in fairness, I didn't actually find it as physical as I expected. I grew up as well watching. I used to watch Canvey Island as a kid quite a lot, so I knew non-league football fairly well. I had a pretty good idea of what it was going to be like. But it was good until it wasn't, because we were losing a lot. But it was a good start for me.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, did you have any sort of goalkeeping heroes?
Pepe Reina,
Right.
being a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And Casillas, because as you probably noticed, I'm not the biggest, and neither was he. So he was a pretty perfect one for me to watch.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I think of about 6 years at Blackpool.
Yeah.
Did you get much first team action at all?
Not really. No. So I was in the first team. I was the number 2 for 2 years.
Who's keeping you out?
Chris Maxwell. Mark Howard at first, who He was 33 at the time, maybe. He's
Yeah.
been about, played a lot of games.
Yeah.
And then Chris Maxwell as well come in. He was captain. So that was number two. The two very good senior keepers. Didn't really have much chance. But I sat on the bench and followed them around. Like I was on the bench virtually for the whole season. So I got quite a good experience in that, in terms of being in the changing room and experiencing what it's like in league football. I made my debut in 2019, I think. I come on for Jack Anick as well. Actually, was he was one of the keepers. He come on loan. He was good as well. He got injured in the game, and I come on after about 15 minutes and played really well. Had a very good game, and they scored in like the 94th minute. We lost 1-0.
Oh no!
So it was a bit disheartening, but that was a good experience.
Yeah, I mean they say there's a goalkeepers club. So when you got you're number two, and you got the guys in front of you a bit more maturity. They giving you tips and that.
Yeah. They were. That's all three of them were very good with me. Like they're like Mark Howard was very senior and he'd done a lot.
Yeah.
So you automatically have a lot of respect for them because of what they've already done in the game. Yeah. But they were very they helped me a lot. Yeah. Especially Chris Maxwell as well. He's quite short as well.
Right.
So he was perfect for me because Mark Howard, although I learnt loads off of him, he's still, I think he's probably 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
There's some stuff that he can do which I would never be able to use in a game just because of his pure size. Yeah. Whereas Maxi was only 6 foot and we had very similar styles and trying to do the same things. So he was very good for me.
Yeah. Okay. So about 6 years. So you were released. Were you half expecting that, or do you think you?
Yeah, we had a discussion in my last year around January time where I basically said like, look, I need to play games. Mm-hmm. What's the crack? Like if I'm not playing, I tried to go in January. Yeah. They said no, and then we basically just come to an agreement that at the end of the season I had an option left on my contract, and we just said like, there's no point. I'm not going to play games. Yeah.
Who was the boss there at the time?
The manager. Yeah. Neil Critchley. So he's the.
Oh, is it Villa now?
Yeah. That's your team, you say?
Yes.
Yeah. So him. A very good manager, to be fair. Yeah. Really knows football. That was his first. That was his first job, like in senior football. Yeah. And he was very good. Right. Like the Villa job. Him taking the Villa job was actually a bit surprising because it's surprising that he was happy to go be a number two, but he knows the game very like.
Because he turned Blackpool around, didn't he?
Yeah. He was one of them who like you prepare all week for the game. Yeah. And he was very much. We did a lot of shape and loads of like a lot of work on the opposition. Yeah. And it would be like one of them in the week. He'd be like, oh, they're gonna do this, and this. We'll do this, and this will happen. And it just happened all the time. What he said was gonna happen happened, and you're just like. After a little while, you pick up pretty quickly that if you listen to what he's saying, they'll be alright. And then obviously we got promoted, so it was he was very good.
So down to deepest darkest Kent with Welling, did he get offers from other places?
So I had it was a tough start leaving Blackpool. So I went and I was training with Salford at the time. And this was the first day of pre-season. Yeah. And I broke my rib in the first session. So I had to spend the first 6 weeks of pre-season with a broken rib, not allowed to do anything. So it wasn't until what was that? That took 6 weeks in. I didn't start training again until about 8 weeks in, and then I had offers from lower league clubs, but not much in this league because obviously everybody had goalkeepers by this time. We're a couple of weeks into the season already. Right. So yeah, everyone had goalkeepers. So it was sort of the goalkeeper there got injured, and then I got a call off Pete Taylor, saying I want to come in. Yeah, 100%.
So what month did you join Welling then?
I think October.
Because they conceded 87 goals last season, which was the worst.
It was bad.
I didn't want to bring that up, but it was the worst.
It was hard work there. There was.
It would have been 150. I think that's few weren't it?
No, there were well. I had a very good time there. To be fair, I ended up getting Player of the Month 3 months in a row, but that shows how bad the team was.
Yeah.
Because of how much I had to do. It was more one of the fact they have that many shots that I'm eventually going to make some saves.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really tough time. It was a good group of lads, but it was maybe a bit early for their standard.
Right. So what's happened to them this season? Because they're the other end of the table, they're not conceding loads of goals.
They've
Nothing to do with you, of course, but I'm
they've,
not hinting that.
They've had a good bit of investment, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've had investment put into the club, and it looks like they've got the right ambition. I think I don't know if it's the chairman or the owner has changed, but somebody's gone in there. A guy called Paul. I'm not sure his last name, but he's very he cares about the club and that. I think he's pushing them in the right way.
So had you already decided to leave, or
the new manager? So when Pete Taylor got sacked, the new manager come in and said bye, basically.
Right.
That was pretty much it. Said same with Joe Muscat, who's here now.
Yeah.
A lot of the players when he come in got given the boot, basically.
Okay. So how did you end up at Braintree? Did you know Angelo before? Or was it...
No, didn't know Angelo. Didn't know Steve. Through somebody at Welling, actually, one of the players' dads knows Steve quite well. So I just I got a phone call from him first. Got a phone call of him first, telling me that he'd spoken with Steve.
Yeah.
And then Steve rang me. I think that was on the Friday, and just said, he told me what he was looking to do. And then on the Saturday, I think, or Sunday morning, I rang him back and said, I'm ready to move ahead with it. Yeah. It sounded pretty much like what I was looking for, basically, and it's turned out to be not far off it.
So what have you made of your time here so far?
It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
It must be a new experience, because it's really better than 2 players, well 3 now. It was a brand new start for everybody.
Yeah. So I think that helped. I think that's why we've actually got quite a good team spirit, because everybody was in the same boat. Yeah. In terms of there were so many new players, you all sort of chip in to make sure everyone feels welcome. So I think the group is a very good group. The best thing about the group is how together everyone seems to be, and what's the word? The team spirit's good. It's a good. Everyone gets along. There's no cliques or anything like that, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. You've played with any of the lads before? Or come across them before?
Joe Muscat. At Welling. Other than that, no. I know of them, but I've never played with any of them else.
Okay. FA Cup Saturday. Yeah. Personally, what's the best you've done for progress in the FA Cup?
Cool. Not far. At Lancaster, we probably. I don't think we made first round proper, and then obviously at Blackpool I never played. They had a good cup run that year, so it was they beat West Brom, then played Brighton away. But no, not that I've played in. I've not really played in a proper cup run though. So
how much do you know about Havens? So as far as I understand, they are unbeaten this season.
I know a little bit about them. I know I've got friends who play at that level. I know some of their players. I know a little bit about them. Yeah, not loads obviously, but I know enough. I think.
Have we got enough to go through?
I'd like to think so.
Okay, and what do you think the team can achieve this season? You played the best.
Yeah.
And I think they'll beat many a team, so I don't think we can go by.
Yeah, no, I think the Tuesday night result, I think we can actually take quite a lot of positives from it, especially the first 10-15 minutes. They're a very good team, aren't they? You can see the difference in level. They shouldn't be at this level really. But how far can this team go? I think for now we just have to concentrate on just winning games. Yeah. And not look too far ahead. Keep thinking about, get to around 40 points, and if we get to that early, then you can start looking at what next. But we've had a great start, and there's no reason why we can't push on and really have a good go this year.
Is that Angelo's mindset as well? Just don't carry the way too early on, just wrap the points up.
I know obviously you might see the celebrations and that after the game that we have. but he's still very much focused on not getting too far ahead. I think he's actually quite good at keeping keeping everyone's feet on the ground where we are now, and just concentrate on the now. I think that's the reason why we celebrate after games is because.
You said the hard to win at this level is hard anyway.
Yeah. Celebrate the wins, and stay in the now, stay in the present. So if you win, celebrate it.
Yeah.
And focus on now. Then you move on to the next one, and not looking too far ahead. But yeah.
Okay. If we do progress and progress, who would you like to draw?
Cool. Yeah. Well, if we can get to the first round. Who comes into the first round proper? Is that the League 1 and 2? Yeah. Who's in League 1? I've got a couple of mates that watch that. I wouldn't mind that.
Right.
Colchester would be quite good actually, with it being local.
That'd be a good.
Yeah.
They're still on the high at the moment, are they? So,
yeah.
Right. Let's get Heybridge out of the way.
Yeah.
Being Colchester on. Let's have a run. We've not had one for a few years.
Oh, hopefully we can get one this year.
That's it. Jack, thanks so much for your time.
No worries, cheers.